The time is now with Back to the Rhymes. It's like, wow, he's back to the rhymes. I'm in the booth straight dropping dimes. Clark Kent, Daily Planet, the Metropolis Times. I write these raps while I'm under the gun. I see you back to get you some. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. Pure, raw, uncut, rap. Back to the rhymes. Now's the time. Time to unwind cause back to the rhymes. Back to the rhymes. Now's the time. Time to unwind cause it's back to the rhymes. Okay. Yeah, I swear, I'm starting this out and I hear the rain drips, 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 and I wish plan and pray for a workspace that is dedicated to doing something along these lines. But that time has not yet come. All right, so number one, YouTube channel. I'm just let me just update my schedule. So it looks like I'm going to have Sunday off. That's what it looks like. Here we are in the new year. Yay, you have Sunday off. Well, guess what? Sunday, Sunday school, which I've been missing, church, which I've been missing. I wouldn't be missing if we were had church under normal circumstances, but we don't. So I was missing it. I could have an easier day work Sunday. Now, I'm only giving updates because saying why I'm able to get to things and can't. I don't want to bore you with my schedule, but for crying out loud. So no, it's possible on so I will work my day off on Tuesday this week, and then next week will be Wednesday, and it's possible I will get off right at 3:30 or 4 or and so that's a little window of extra time. But if I had all Tuesday off, I could be more productive. I'm just telling you. Maybe it's because daughter's in school, wife's doing what I don't know. I just feel it's very hard to do things on Sunday. It's a family day, right? I work a lot, so what am I going to do? Gotta spend time there. So that's why I don't want to I'm not expecting people. I know, Aaron, I know you're out there waiting for this mixtape. It should not take long. Let's just go through the list. So, YouTube channel, it's not doing a lot, um, but that's fine. I'm here. Number two, I didn't do well. Yeah, I haven't been promoting the Trump's going to thump too much. We got all this stuff going on. I don't know. Maybe I'll talk about it a little bit, but Trump's going to thump. I'm just going to let it slide as far as the copyright. I need to contact someone who's uncontactable directly, a government bureaucrat. I don't have the time to deal with all that minutia, and I don't have the funds to pay Neil for that. So the way it looks like is I'll own the copyright to the song and the audio portion, but the video I won't have any rights to potentially, at least for the time being. Maybe I can go back and fix it later. A Better Bread. So as I was telling you, Aaron's waiting for that. It should not take long. Maybe I'll just skip to that. I still have to do. Dale sent me the thing. I don't know what to say. Rules of engagement. Yep. Number 5. You'll be glorified on hold. Bellevue Ballers is where, if I have downtime, I work on that because that is the area where I can bring in it's a potential revenue generator, much more so for the foreseeable future than, say, music. Funds are coming along for my job too. I'm thankful, and yes, they sent me a check from the government, which is all borrowed money and printed or borrowed from China or printed, and it's all phony. It's very sad, but I'm gonna take it like everyone else. So I'm in a better position than I've been in probably years. So I'm thankful for that. But I have to keep the schedule at the post office. So that's that. My Reformation music videos on hold, and now music. I've got music ready to go, just don't have a way to do it yet. School of album sales, nobody discussed anybody this week that I can think of. Possibly soon. But yeah, we're looking at the Bellevue Ballers really dominating my non-productive time, and that's not by accident. That's something. It's a family business. Whereas this music endeavor is virtually me. My daughter is interested and likes it, but it's harder for her to participate than it is in that other business. So that's that. I hear, okay, let me just say, so current events. I have not been consuming tons of news. I listen to conservative radio a little bit. We know Fox News is totally supporting Biden 100%. So it is what it is. So that's where I hear news. I hear everyone's got their own agenda. I have an agenda. We all have agendas. It's hard to hold that against people. I think it's not so much about holding it against people. It's knowing what those agendas are. That's important. And I think what's disheartening for me is now that I'm available for Sunday, I get to hear what people I fellowship with are taking in, and it is what it is. You know, if your information source is your information source and you're just taking it at face value, it's going to come out in your head like, okay, let's talk about, I haven't studied. I got the USA Today today. It's from Friday. It shows the top 15 on country. It shows all of them. You know how I went through that list, but the whole newspaper is how terrible Trump, it's just sick. The whole thing, wall to wall, including the sports. I think the weather even said. I'm pretty sure the stars lined up in the sky to say Trump is terrible. He's gone to a new. I think this. If you were to go to the weather, it would say the weather report would say clear skies, but the stars are saying Trump has hit a new low. I'm pretty sure that's what the weather would say. That's how biased it is. Okay, so it's not a legitimate information source, but people take this in because of social media and they get it on Yahoo or Microsoft or Bloomberg News or any, it's 100% against one person basically. And so that's worthless to me. But what's hard for me is, you know, we're critical thinkers when it comes to an eternal perspective. We are able to be discerning when it comes to things in the afterlife in terms of what happens next. But we're not able to be discerning when it comes to how we get information. That's hard for me. But I think I'll leave it there because it really is not really productive. All I know is, and my next song will address this to a degree. But I want to finish. I'm going to get back to the rhymes. We're going to finish the bubble later, the bubble. I had to go light because it gets heavy. You can't hardly be lighter than a bubble. Maybe I'll put that in my rhymes. I'm going to do that. Let's just go there because it's heavy, man. You ever hear Gang Starr, The Weight of the World? It's heavy on my mind. And it gets into the what is that? Who's gonna take the weight? That's a dope rhyme. I love that song. All right. So from here to strategy, bring back to life the bubble. Okay. I'm just gonna continue and then I want to finish this verse and then I'll do the rap. From here, the strategy, bring back to life the bubble to bubble. Life feels so heavy. Life feels so heavy. All this talk of trouble. Trying to keep it light. What's lighter than a bubble? Or what's lighter than a feather? A bubble. I'd say that's true. Isn't that right? Isn't a bubble lighter than a feather? I think so. Trying to keep it light. What's lighter than a feather? A bubble. Trying to do gotta do trying to bring us back to better times. Now, it's a lot of this perspective. We could easily say that things have never been better. This is the best, and that would be incredibly optimistic. Maybe on a certain level, that's true. Maybe I am closer to God than I've ever been. So that makes these the best time. We gotta be intentional about it. I do for sure. But I think a part of us, no matter where we are in life, no matter what's going on in the world, we long for simpler times, and that's always the childhood, right? I'm gonna say it like this, trying to bring us back to the better times, to the better times. Because I don't want to make it like a fixed state and it's absolute. Okay, so we're gonna say try to bring us back to the better times. Trying to do what I gotta do. Trying to bring us back to the better times. Hang with me till I'm through. Times and rhymes, they go, you just do it, right? Working weekly to break out some better rhymes. So even though it's a very predictable rhyme, I can front load the sentence. How does that sound? I'm gonna front load the sentence with that's where it's supposedly different, right? Even though the rhyme's the same, I'm gonna front load the description, front load the sentence prior to the rhyme and make that part interesting, hopefully. Left out a word there. All right. Working weekly to break out some better rhymes. There's a song called, I think it's called Big Big Plans. Yeah, Chris Lane, number 5 is number 3 last week. It was number 1 a few weeks back. Could say that. It's kind of ironic to say these are big plans when we're just talking about bringing back the bubbleator, but they are big plans in the sense that I don't know if there's any plan for the bubbleator. So from where it's at right now and from what I'm capable of doing, this is not something I would be personally capable of doing right this minute to bring it back and make it fully functional and put it repurpose. Oh, I don't think I said that. We're going to repurpose the bubbleator. Yes. Working weekly to break out some better rhymes. Some good rhymes. And make some big plans. Okay. Some good rhymes. And make some big plans. And to ultimately create a pathway for the repurposing of the bubbleator. I'm happy with that. And then we do the hook. Yeah, I'm gonna stop there. That's only 14 lines. Yes. Oh, I didn't talk about Augie Ben Doggy. One of the raps, famous ones back in the day. What about peace? F peace. I think that was at the outro. I will do that for the end of this song as a kind of a throwback connection. Who said that? Probably NWA somebody. That was it was NWA or something. A lot of people at the end of those songs were like, peace, right? Peace, right at the end. Peace for whatever year, 88 or something. Fresh for 88, that would be KRS-One doing the fresh, but how about peace? All right, so for the repurposing of the bubbleator, the bubble. I'm not gonna be that hard on Augie Ben Doggy though. So we're gonna say hook. And then what about, how would you even spell that? I'm just gonna guess how you spelled it. I don't think there's really I can't remember. I watched the Hardware Wars recently with my daughter and they showed him. What about Augie Ben Doggy? What's a charitable way to say F Augie Ben Doggy? I could say forget him. I don't really want to say F, Augie Ben Doggy. What about Augie Ben Doggy? Aha, I'll just say, what about Augie Ben Doggy? And that's the end of the song. Why not? All right, so let's see how long this is. Okay, here we go. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble later. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble later. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble later. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble later. Had you ever took a trip on the bubble later? I had, and those memories I savor. Who needs a space needle? Give me the bubble later and the Weedle. The lines around the block, and I'm only 8. Another 3 hours is how long we gotta wait. We never saw the first, a difference that would make. All my friends saw the first, for God's sake. But Buck, Star Buck, there's something you ain't. You ain't the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble later. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble later. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble later. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble later. Oh goody, we left that line. Headed to where we can have a real good time. I think I hear the roller coaster from here. Life was so good back in yesteryear. The fun for us was fun for us. My parents knew just how to end the fuss. Get them kids some tickets for the kiddie rides. Break them off a couple bills so they can try and win a prize. Okay, that's enough. Time to go home. From you know who. But wait. One last thing before we go. Can we go to the center house where we won't find a waiter? We'll find Pizza Haven and I can pick out my flavor. No ham salad for me. Break me off a slice of pepperoni and a ride on the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble later. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble later. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble later. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble later. From here, the strategy. Bring back the light, the bubble, the bubble. Life feels so heavy. All this talk of trouble. Trying to keep it light. What's lighter than a feather? A bubble. Trying to do what I gotta do. Trying to bring us back to the better times. Hang with me till I'm through. Working weekly to break out some better rhymes. Some good rhymes. And make some big plans to ultimately create a pathway for the repurposing of the bubbleator. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble. The bubble, the bubble, the bubbleator. The bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble. The bubble, 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 the bubble later, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble later, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble later, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble, the bubble later. What about Augie Ben Doggy? What about Augie Ben Doggy? Bam. What was that? That was about 3 minutes. And that's that song. All right, so we got another one done, and on to the next one. And the song is going to be called Sir Real. And if I'd have made this song last week, it'd have been called something else. But things changed on a weekly basis, right? I mean, something more is going to happen this week, and my mind would change further. So since I landed on this is where my head's at. I'm almost forgetting what I was thinking about doing last week. I thought it was really good too. But since I'm not writing it down, oh well. I got to get the dictionary out here. Okay, it's called surreal, and we have a word surreal. I want to check one other thing. I should have checked it before I started. I think it's central. think I can still try to do it online real quick. I don't know if I can look it up here. See, I guess they have like Solicitor General. Sometimes some of these soft sculpture, they have two words as a word in the dictionary. Soft sculpture, that's not one word, it's two words. Soldier's home, soldier of fortune. Huh. All right. I don't know, for people who don't have any sense of faith in the afterlife, in a perfect, God's perfect son, perfect, 100%. When is every last human being not perfect? They're so far from perfect, it's downright depressing. In to spend too much time thinking about that, what can you do? You turn to the one who's perfect for comfort, you know, because I can't, he's not, it's the spirit, right? And it's the word of God that we have right now. Fellowship's really hard right now to fellowship. That's what you take that away. So we got to work even harder, more intentional thinking about this stuff. It's interesting that if it's really true that we're in a hard place as a country, let's say, or as a world, or as a society, or as a community, normally, what do people normally do? Like when 9/11 happened, what do people do? What's a natural thing that people do? Go home and close the blinds and hide under the sheets? Or would they gather? They would gather. They've taken that away, or somebody's taking it away. It's not happening in every state, by the way, but where I live in Washington and Seattle, they've made it very challenging, and you feel it, But I'm just saying, think about that. In times of, real strife and turmoil, the typical human response is to gather and to get together. I hope I have this spelled right. Yeah, here it is. Surreal. All right. I don't know. I didn't memorize it. It's S-U-R and real, which I thought. Surreal, having qualities attributed to surrealism. Woo, back to surrealism. So surrealism, a 20th century literary and artistic movement that attempts to express the workings of the subconscious by fantastic imagery and incongruous juxtaposition of subject matter. Holy cow, that's heavy. Okay, we take French surrealisme or something. French beyond plus realism. Beyond realism. Literary and artistic movement, 20th century, that attempts to express the workings of the subconscious. That's deep and heavy. I mean, that's more than I could deal with out of a dictionary. I'm not going to really get into, because I use the word. I think people would use it. It's surreal. We're in kind of surreal times, is how I would use the word. Maybe I'm not using it right, but how I think of it as being used. I didn't know it was as an artistic movement. So I did not know that surrealistic of or relating to surrealism, having an oddly dreamlike or unreal quality. So maybe if I take that definition of surrealistic, having an oddly dreamlike or unreal quality, that's what I'm keen on, is the unreal quality. So since things are so unreal, I would say it feels very unreal. We want to find what is real. What can we count on, right? And I'm running out of time, but if I can find it in the amount of time I have, I don't think I could pull that off. Critical doesn't come up as a dictionary word. Critical thinking is what I'm driving at. It takes critical thinking to discern real and surreal, right? And I learned that in college. I had never thought of the concept before, and it changed how I viewed everything. But we'll pick that up next week when we take on surreal.